Hello everyone. In today's lecture, we will talk about the memory allocation techniques. As you all are aware that when we talk about a computer has got shared memory available to us. Here, by memory, I am talking about the RAM that is available in the computer. So the entire system that we have will have a shared memory available to us. So all the processes that are running currently in the computer has to share the memory, whatever is available to them. So whenever the memory has to be shared among all the processes which are currently running in the computer, then it means we need to allocate the memory using some method. So there are two ways with which your operating system will allocate the memory to all those processes. The first method is called as the contiguous memory allocation, and the second method is called as the non-contiguous memory allocation. In today's lecture, we will only focus on the contiguous memory allocation method. Whenever we are saying we are doing the allocation, we as in the operating system, it is allocating the memory in the contiguous fashion to each and every process. It means whatever number of blocks are available, whatever are the parts for a particular process, they all will be given the memory in a continuous, in the adjacent manner in the available space. So there are basically four categories of contiguous memory allocation. The first one is called as the first fit. Second one is called as the best fit. Third one is called as the worst fit. And the fourth one is called as the next fit, which is also called as the modified first fit method available to us. Moving forward, now let's see how does first fit memory allocation is utilized. In the first fit memory allocation, let's assume that this is the RAM given to us. Let's assume all these blocks which are already highlighted in the red, they are the blocks which cannot be used for memory allocation because they are already utilized by some other processes. So the only blocks we can allocate to the new processes are the one which are shown as empty. The size of each block is shown adjacent to the block. So the first block which is already allocated was of 15 KB size. The second block is of 20 KB size. Similarly, we have some other set of blocks also where this block is of 10 KB size. Now let's assume that there is one process, let's call it as process P1, and the process requirement, this process required 10 KB of space for its processing. So whenever first fit memory allocation algorithm will be used, in that case, you will be allocating the first free block that is meeting the current requirement for particular process. The current requirement for this process P1 is equal to 10 KB. So your operating system will start scanning your memory from the start. First of all, it will scan the first block which is already allocated. So this block cannot be allocated to P1 process. Then the second block is of 20 KB size. As for the first fit memory allocation method, P1 process will be allocated the second block which is coming out as free. Now you can very well see that the size of this block is 20 KB. The requirement for this is 10 KB. However, even if when the size requirement is lesser, then also your operating system will be allocating P1 process to this block, which will be further wasting 10 KB out of it. So even if 10 KB memory space is wasted using the first fit memory allocation method, then also this is how the memory allocation will be done for process P1. So if you just have a glance at the given memory which is available to us, which is as of now free, you can see we did have some block which is equivalent to 10 KB of size. If we were not using the first fit memory allocation, in that case there was a possibility that the operating system will be allocating it using this other block which is available. But because we are already using the first fit, it means any block which the operating system will come across as empty will be allocated that process, no matter how much memory is wasted by doing that allocation. So this is how your first fit memory allocation works. So earlier we saw that how first fit memory allocation used to work. Now let's see how does best fit memory allocation algorithm works. In the best fit memory allocation method, the operating system will allocate the block which is most suitable for current requirement after doing the comparison among all the free spaces. Now let's understand this with the help of one example. Let's say there is one process P1 that requires 10 KB of space. Sorry, let's say that there is some process P1 that requires 15 KB of space. So if there is any process which require 15 KB of space, and now let's assume that this is the current scenario of the RAM. In this, all the blocks that are already shaded are the ones which are already allocated to some other process, so we cannot utilize that. So the only free blocks which are available to us is 20 KB block, and the second one which is available to us is of 15 KB size. So the process requirement as if now is of 15 KB. So whenever best fit memory allocation method will be used by the operating system, first of all, operating system will go through all the free blocks, all the free holes which are available in the RAM, and check out which one suits the requirement best. So the first block, it is of 20 KB size. No doubt 15 KB process can fit into this block also, but your operating system will not be choosing this because it is using the best fit memory allocation. So for finding the best among all the free spaces, it will keep on scanning till the time it reach at the end of the free spaces. So after it is done with the scanning of it, it will go further and check is the next block available. If yes, then it will check out does it match the requirement. So in this case, 10 KB is there, but it is already allocated. So this block cannot be given to the process P1. So moving forward, this operating system now will check out the next block. In this block, you can see that the size for this particular block is 15 KB. And this 15 KB is also equivalent to the size availability or the memory, which is memory availability that is required for process P1. But your operating system will not stop here. It will go further to check out is there any other memory block that can fit my requirement best. If so, then it will allocate the particular block which suits the requirement best. After doing the comparison, it will check out the best one. So here there are two free blocks, 20 KB and 15 KB. So out of these two, the second block is the place where your operating system will be allocating the process P1. So P1 process will be allocated to a particular hole which is equivalent to that of the size of the process requirement. This way, no memory will be wasted like it was wasted in the first fit memory allocation method, which we just discussed a little while ago. The third method for doing the memory allocation in the contiguous memory allocation is worst fit memory allocation. In the worst fit memory allocation method, the operating system will allocate the block which is largest among all the free available space. Let's understand this with the help of one example. Let's say there is some process P1 and that process requires 7 KB of memory for processing in the RAM. So in the worst fit memory allocation method, first of all, your operating system will scan all the free spaces available. There are three free spaces available in this given example. The first one is of 20 KB size, the second one is of 50 KB size, and the third one is of 5 KB size. So out of all these free spaces available, that is 20, 50, and 5 KB, your operating system will choose the one which is the largest among all the free spaces. So in the in the worst fit memory allocation method, your operating system will be allocating the process P1 in the block which is having the memory availability of 50 KB. So you can very well see here that even if there is only the requirement of 7 KB, the entire block will be utilized in this. So whenever you will be using the worst fit memory allocation, you will come across a case that a lot of memory is wasted and which cannot be used by any other process till the time this process P1 goes out of the memory. So this is one of the major problems that you will encounter while using the worst fit memory allocation method. Moving forward, now let's talk about the last method for memory allocation, which is using a contiguous memory allocation. It is called as the next fit memory allocation. In the next fit memory allocation, it is also called as the modified first fit. In this case, I'll give you the example first. Let's say that there are two processes P1 and P2. The requirement for process P1 is equal to 10 KB and the requirement of memory for process P2 is equal to 20 KB. So whenever next fit memory allocation will be used, first of all, it will start as a first fit method only. In the first fit method means that the operating system will allocate the first block which it comes out as free to it. So let's say this is the RAM available to us currently, and the process which is looking for some memory is requires 10 KB of space. Let's say this size is 20 KB and it is already allocated to some other process which we cannot use right now. And the second block is of 10 KB size. Again, let's say this is of 15 KB and it is already allocated to something else. There is another block that is of 10 KB size and so on. So whenever the process P1 will comes up, now, first of all, whenever the first process comes up, the operating system will allocate it the memory by using the best fit method. Sorry, first fit method. In the first fit method, your operating will start scanning the RAM from the starting, like it will start scanning from here, and it will come across a case when the first block is already allocated. This block cannot be used by the process P1. Then the second block is coming out to be free. So in this case, process P1 will be allocated the second block, which is exactly matching the criteria, which is fulfilling the requirement of 10 KB. Now, the second requirement is for process P2. For doing the allocation for process P2, now how does this next fit memory allocation will work? As you are already aware that the first block of 20 KB is already utilized, the second block, which is of 10 KB size, is already allocated to P1 in the previous step. The next block, that is of 15 KB size, it is already utilized by somebody else. And then the next block is of 10 KB size. Then let's assume the next block is of 20 KB size. Now, whenever you will be using the next fit memory allocation method, there is one pointer that is maintained by the next fit memory allocation. Now, this pointer will always maintain that what is the last block where the memory allocation was done. In the previous step, the P1 process was allocated the memory of size 10 KB. So there will be one pointer, let's say the pointer name is PTR. Now that PTR variable will always keep a track that where was the last memory allocation done. So when the second request comes up that is of 20 KB size, now your operating system will not start doing the scanning from the 0th address. Now it will start doing the scanning from the place where your pointer is now pointing to. This pointer will always maintain the record where your last memory allocation was done. So for P2 process, the scanning will now start from this block. So this block already is allocated to some other process of 15 KB. So this cannot be used. Now next scanning will be done. The size of this is 10 KB. However, the requirement for the process is 20 KB. So this block can also not be allocated. Now moving forward, now the operating system will get to know that it is of 20 KB size. So process P2 will be allocated to this block. The benefit of using this next fit memory allocation method is that you need not to start doing the scanning every time from the first address in your RAM. So this way you can save a little bit of time for you. So that is all about the memory allocation in the contiguous fashion. I hope you are able to understand it. If you have any doubts and queries, you can always get back to me via comments. Thank you so much for watching. So do comment, like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Have a nice day.